everyone, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. Today I thought I would actually just go live and do a little video because I do actually have lots of questions. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say questions. Lots of people asking me questions about how to actually shrink wrap them, how to go wholesale, and all of these in between questions. So I know this is just going to be recorded and later on you'll be able to see everything. So I thought for now what I'm going to do is just do a little video, like I said, about how you can go wholesale, and also oh, hello Mark, how are you? Yeah, I've done a little tricky one coming on every now and then, haven't I? So for now I just thought I'd do a little video about wholesale, how I've come here, shrink wrapping and so on, because I've had so many questions, especially about bath bombs, which is, you know, crazy. I mean, I can never understand the amount of people that want to know about bath bombs, but it's a huge question at the moment for everyone asking. So while I'm finishing off my huge wholesale order, I thought, you know, which most of you will have seen the video, I thought, look, I'll just go through how I shrink wrap it, how I actually put it on the table, because as many of you know, in Australia we actually... Oh, hi love. Yeah, you did catch me live. I know. I every now and then I'm going to do a sneaky one and come on with questions that people ask me. Oh, you're on your day off, Mark. Lucky. So I thought, you know, the main thing in Australia, we actually cannot get the bath bomb holders. They're just almost impossible to get. And if they are, the shipping is ridiculous. The shipping is like $70 to $100 and something. And that is like for one little tray that holds 10 or 16 bath bombs. So ridiculous. So anyway, I'll show you how I'm doing them. But I did give a sneaky kind of tip in my last video that my husband will actually, he's an engineer and he's in the middle of designing some for Australia. So, and I'll actually do a giveaway when we've kind of got up to that stage of some trays. So basically for now, what I actually do is, you can see these are actually just cupcake trays. And what you want to do is you want to put like Glad wrap over the top or shrink wrap. And the reason for that is what happens is, I don't know whether you can kind of see the little one I've got here, but in here it's just a shrink wrap, and then it goes over the top, and then it lets the bath bomb kind of float over the top. And if you can see, that's kind of the bottom of it. So it isn't perfect, but that's as good as we're going to get in Australia with your rounded bottoms without the you know, the special molds, like I said, the special trays that you can actually pop onto them. And I know you can't see me very well, so I will pop the camera up in a second. But I thought I'd just show you all of these because it's a little bit crazy around here. I think in the last 2 weeks, I think I've done like 2,500 bath bombs. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. And I thought before I show you how to shrink wrap them, because I will actually show you on my machine how I do it. And, you know, look, I'm not, you know, an expert in it, but this is how I do it. And they do look quite nice. So this is one also, which is a flower one, if you can kind of see that. So that's what the shrink wrapping looks with the machine that I use. You will get these kind of like seam lines because there's nothing you can do about a seam line. It's just the way it is. But the one thing that is really good with the one that I have is it kind of gives almost like a glossy kind of look, which I do really love, that sort of glossy look on the bath bombs. So anyway, that was one thing that I just thought I would show you that. And like I said, I'll show you how I do it, because once you like seal it, then you need to turn the bath bomb so that the attractive part of the bath bomb has no seam. So on this one with the rose, obviously you don't want the seam all on the top, so I've made sure the seam's on the side. So anyway, that's something that you can do just to kind of combat that, so that you're going to do that. But as I said, you know, so for instance, the trays you're going to start with, just go over the top with Glad wrap or a plastic film or shrink wrap and let the bath bomb sort of float on top if you don't have, you know, the trays. And then you can also, which I've got my little ones on here, so let me pick it up and see if I can actually show you this one as well. So these ones, if you can see these kind of plastic trays that are sitting on them, these were where tennis balls were on in the department store. So I just said, can I have it? They said, sure, we're going to throw it out. but I can't get any more. I only got 2, and then I couldn't get any more, and I was like, oh damn, they stopped bringing them in. And I've even tried to contact some of the designers of the plastic, and they won't even sell it to me because it's owned by the company. So it's very annoying. Oh, the video freezes, does it? Oh, that's a bit of a bugger, isn't it? Well, hopefully it doesn't. I'm going to move my tripody thing. So let me move this and we'll see if that changes it, because I'm in the sort of not perfect zone for the internet. So let me grab it and we're just going to move and I will actually see. So you guys can tell me if it's still kind of frozen a little bit. So can you hear me a bit better now? Yeah, well, hopefully you can hear me a bit better now. So anyway, you don't need to see what I'm doing. You need, hear me. You need to see what I'm doing, don't you? So I'm sorry that you'll see it crazy everywhere in here, but, and let me move this out the way. So this is my shrink machine here. So I thought we'll turn it on. So now mine is just a cheap one as well. Oh, it was fine, Mark, for you before. Okay, so maybe just some people. Hopefully it doesn't freeze when everyone watches it back. So I've got my shrink machine here. And the thing with doing the shrink machine is mine is just one from an Australian supplier. I think it's called Shrink Equipped, if I'm right. But just Google it and you'll see it come up. I actually buy the roll here. You can buy biodegradable or not. But when I got this, I couldn't get biodegradable. They didn't sell it. But my next one will be. And for this particular one here, I think it's about $450 for the roll. But the roll is about 2,500 meters long. So it will last you forever. I've had this for nearly 2 years. And I'm still only halfway through the roll. So, and I make lots and lots of bath bombs. So I thought we'll talk about shrinking it. I'll show you how to shrink it. And then I'll give you some tips on wholesale and how I've come into wholesale. And I hope that does help everyone, you know, to sort of get your foot across the ground. So we're going to start, we'll do a little bath bomb. And I know it's not perfect for you to be able to see, but let me move you as close as I can. And I'm just going to flip my little camera. Hold on a little seckie. Let me just move it around a tiny bit and see if I can. There you go. Maybe that's better. So if you can see my shrink machine, we'll move all this rubbish out the way because I have so much. So on here, all I have is mine just sort of pulls out and you can see that the red button is already on. And so all I'm going to do is literally, I can do 2 bath bombs in a go because mine's not a really wide one. And if you can see here, you just kind of slide it in between 2, you know, little bits of plastic. And then we're going to seal it. Now, make sure when you seal it that you're not pushing the arm down and it's not too tight. Because if it's too tight, it will just make a hole. So, let me move that out the way. So all we're going to do is just hold it down till the light goes off. And then this is what it's going to look like. It will come into, and then we want to sort of cut across here. So that's what it's going to look like at the start. And then we're just going to go across. Like I said, leave a bit of a gap so that there's no hole in it. And make sure that you don't pull it down. Now, I've done this on purpose to show you. Because I left it too tight, can you see that little hole in there? So when I dry this hole will get bigger and bigger. So if that happens, just take it out and start again. And obviously, because this bit has, you know, got a hole in it, means that bit will be as well. So we'll just seal that end again. And like I said, you do need to hold it down. Mine is not a national shrink wrap. I wish it was, but it is definitely not. And if you can see, like, it's got a seam line here, and this is the top, so we wouldn't want that. So what I do is just wiggle it around. So just wiggle it the right way so that then that is going to be nice and smooth on the top, because that's the bit someone's going to look, and then we'll seal that bit. So I will seal that bit in there, and if you can see that, then that's what it looks like at the end. It's sealed really well. And what I do is I usually do like honestly about 300 like that. So I do them all in one go, and then I come back with the heat gun, and then I go over the top. So now this is going to be noisy, but I will show you. And when you put your heat gun, so this is the heat gun I have. It comes with the machine, but you can get it from your local hardware store. They're pretty cheap. just do it on low, don't do it on high, and you have to keep your distance about this much. If you're here, you'll just cause a massive, massive big hole in it. So anyway, let's get going and I'll show you. So the gun will take a little bit of a time just to heat up. And if you can see, you know, it gets hot, so don't hold it in your hand, but sometimes I just do. And then I'm just going to go around here, and I have got a hole in this one, but it doesn't matter. For this purpose, we'll show you. And just make sure you go. Now, if you can see that it has like little bubbles, that means it's not done enough. When it has the bubbles, it means that it hasn't got hot enough for it to get tight around the outside. So let me just go around here and I'll show you. Now, can you see the top, like how kind of like silky it looks? And then that's all you need to do. I won't do that one because, like I said, I made a hole in it. And, you know, if the hole is, can you see how big that little hole is? Like, you wouldn't leave it like that. Just take that off. If you've got, you know, a customer and you're doing wholesale, you know, the one thing that I say is I shrink wrap them all, but it's more for protection of the bath bomb rather than protection of, you know, like for the customer, because once it gets it, they might decide they don't want them and pull them all off. But I have tried shipping before with shrink wrap and it doesn't work. Believe me, it does not work. So that's one thing that I was just going to tell you about as well. So anyway, but like I said, this is how I do mine, and it works really well for me. And even my samples, I just kind of do that. That's just like a half bath bomb in a sample. And the same as you can do these bags. And one thing that I noticed, I just get these from my little candy store. But the shrink machine, you can just go over the top and it will seal even the plastic candy ones as well. So and that's like a sample. So you could actually do that as well. That way you don't have to fold it over and you don't have to use sticky tape. It's just kind of like an odd thing. And in here, I just keep all the samples in little bits and pieces. So we will fix that again. Now, I'm just going to move my chair around the other side, and then I'll actually move the camera up and we'll talk a little bit about wholesale, and I'll just show you a few tips as well. So let me get my chair. All right, so hopefully you guys can see me now. I thought, look, we'll just come and sit down here. So now we're back into the normal part of the thing that everybody would recognize. Everyone recognizes this back thing. Oh, and if any of you are using like your little cupcake trays, you can even use a silicone one. And what you can do, if you don't want to glad wrap it, you can use like this. And what this is it's like a foam, and it comes on a reel like this. You get it from just your packing store, and you can actually sit it on top like that. And, you know, just put one bath bomb in each corner and it holds it tight. So that's what I do. And it doesn't really leave a mark because it's really soft and flat. So that's another idea as well. But as I said before, I am in the middle of designing some trays for bath bombs. So I'm going to design one that will be a multi-purpose one, so that, and it literally has clasps on the end like little clips, and then they will all click in. So you can buy one and then literally click them together. So you can have it like 10 meters long if you wanted, if you had massive trestle tables or something. So anyway, but like I said, we're in the design stage of that at the moment. And I was just speaking to one of my husband's friends, who's an engineer as well, and he was saying, yeah, that it's looking really good at the moment. So I'm very excited because I desperately need them. And I wanted to ship them in from the US, but they're just so expensive. And I got a quote from Canada to even ship some, and it was over $300 for shipping. So I thought, I can't, you know, justify that for one tray. Because it would just be so expensive. But anyway, I thought now we'll talk about wholesale a little bit, because lots and lots of people have been asking me about wholesale. So a bit of the story how I actually started. When I first started, I only did retail. I didn't offer wholesale at all. And honestly, if I want to be really honest, I mean, the sales weren't there, retail. It's really hard. When I did a market, I did very well, good sales. But online, sometimes I'd just get one a week, sometimes one a month even. So, and then I thought, but lots of people over time had asked me, do you do wholesale? Because, you're on social media, so people see you. And when you're posting your products, if they like it, they'll say, do you do wholesale? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. Maybe I will do wholesale. And I was shocked, honestly, by probably day 2 on advertising I do wholesale. I already had customers. And they would message me through Instagram, sometimes Facebook or YouTube. And then they said, look, can I give it a go? I'll blah, blah. And you know what you can also do if you can't get that is send some samples to people as well. So that is one thing that I can definitely suggest. And then you know what you do on your social media, say we are now going wholesale, which is what I did, and put a massive big picture of it, of the product, and then I put a wholesale sign over the top. And that is how you can get into doing wholesale, and slowly you'll get your customer, because the problem with retail is you're waiting for somebody to come to your site, and generally they're only going to buy 1 or 2 or 3 products. But wholesale, they're buying hundreds. So then you can do that. The only thing to remember is when you're doing wholesale, obviously you're going to take a lot less money. So for instance, if it's a bath bomb, I would usually sell these for about $6.99 to $8. But then when you go wholesale, you might only get $3. Or less, depending. I do mine less than that if people are buying 500 bath bombs in a go, and I often sell 500 now in a go. And of course then you're getting bigger money, but your profits are down, so that means you've got to buy massive bulk. So it is kind of like a catch-22. And I thought I would talk about this because I've had lots of people asking me, well, how do I actually get to wholesale? How do I get the customer? Because that is the hardest thing. And honestly, the way that I've done it, I've not paid anyone or anything like that. I've just literally been posting on TikTok and Instagram, and of course YouTube as well. But most people find me, and majority have found me on Instagram at the moment. And I still get messages probably every second day. I get messages about wholesale. Look, some of them, they just ask a question and they don't buy wholesale, but some do. Now, there is one trick that I'm going, well, not a trick, but one issue that I thought I would talk about. When I first started, I set the price. I was happy with that, and I knew I was only making a small margin. That's fine. But the issue is postage. When you first start, you just don't know what to charge. And honestly, it's a bit of a learning game. I have Australia Post, which is called, even in the US, they probably have it, where it's like my business with your postal center. And the more you send, the more discount you get. But I'm going to tell you, I actually started shipping 1,000 bath bombs. So obviously you can't ship them in one go. You have to break it down into 20 kilo lots, because Australia Post, that's all they'll do is 20 kilo lots. And you can actually go through a freight company, but every freight company I've ever used has broken everything. So I won't use them anymore. I actually do pay extra for Australia Post, and honestly, I lose a lot of money on postage. So now, as of today, I've had to up my postage cost, which I'm very sad about. I wish I didn't. Retail customers, it doesn't change. It will be the same. But for wholesale, when I'm sending bath bombs, sometimes I can only get 150 bath bombs in a box. And then, of course, that box costs me anywhere from $30 to $50, $60 to send across Australia. That's only in Australia. I don't wholesale overseas. So then, before I was charging 99. Went. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Mark? Or hopefully you can hear me now. But people, if people actually ring me, which I've got lots of calls and messages coming up, my voice will drop out. But anyway, hopefully you can hear me. Oh, you can now. Yeah, it's because there was a phone call coming. But yeah, so as I was saying, you know, the hard thing is with Australia Post or any postage service is it costs a lot of money. And do remember the biodegradable peanuts that you put in, everything costs money. The boxes. So for instance, if I don't recycle a box, and sometimes I don't, I have to buy them, they're like $5 for the big box because I need the heavy duty one. Then you've got the peanuts, which they cost $35 for the big bag, and of course the postage. So I used to charge $99 for my postage, but what actually happened was it actually cost me, I think, $280 for the postage. So as you can tell, that is a huge loss. And when you're doing wholesale, often you only have $1 or $2 in the, you know. Yeah, Joe, you can see that. Yeah, no, it's really hard. So today, this morning I got up and I thought, look, I need to be realistic here, because if you charge not enough postage, your business will fail because there's not enough money. And when you're only, you know, you might only make, say, $1 on a bath bomb. The time, you know, you've done your ingredients, it might only be $1 you're making. So the problem is with that, then of course there's not enough money, there's not enough wiggle room to combat all those postage. So my suggestion is wholesale, do not do free postage. I've had people say, do you do free? And I'm absolutely not, because it costs a lot of money to post. And like I said, I use I use one of the services that costs more money to post, but I know that it's insured, it's tracked. So this is the thing I say, definitely track everything, definitely insure everything, and always promise your customer, if it breaks, you will replace it, no questions asked. And that's something that I always do. But you do need to ask them for a photo. You need to say, look, I need a photo to show what's broken or not, because sometimes people might fib. But anyway, I just thought, like, it's not a big long video today, but I thought this is something I wanted to talk about, so that sorry, I'm just going to flick something off the screen. I just thought I'd talk about that because a lot of people ask me about postage and how you deal with that. You can do weights and whatever, but mine are done by price. And, you know, price kind of does combat the weight. So, for instance, for bath bombs, if somebody's buying 100 bath bombs versus, 500 bath bombs, obviously it costs more money to send 500 to 100. But anyway, like I said, I've changed that price and I'll see how that goes, if anyone complains or not. But if they do, I mean, look, honestly, if anyone's watching that buy them, I'm sorry, but the postage cost is just ridiculous at the moment. And I also sent a parcel to somebody in the US the other day, and I used to charge $37. Now it's gone up to $75 for a parcel to be sent there. So expensive. And of course, you can't go back to the customer and say, hey, I want more money, it costs more. You can't do that. You need to simply just cough up the bill and just shut up and send the item, because that's how they've paid for it, and it's not their fault that, you know, things have gone up. So anyway, I just paid the extra money and off the parcel went. But anyway, like I said, I just thought I would come on here and just, you know, do a quick little bit about wholesale and packaging and shrink wrapping, because they're the main questions I've been getting this week. But of course, I will be on here on Sunday, and you guys will see me on the Sunday chat. Anyway, like I said, it was a short video, so bye for now, and I will see you next time. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you think it's worthy, of course. And I'll see you on Sunday at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Times. Bye.